I recently did a video talking about the relevance of a Filipina getting a tattoo in the Philippines and how that differs from, say, a woman in the United States getting the exact same tattoo. Because in the Philippines, it does affect that Filipina's ability to enter the job market. So it tells you a little bit about whether she's good at making life decisions or not. Today I want to turn this around and address something that I have seen changing over the years, and I believe it's only going to continue to change when it comes to the dating dynamics that go on in the Philippines between expats and Filipinas. Now, I get it. I understand. We have all put in our dues. We have, the vast majority of us, unless we inherited some kind of trust fund or something, we've been working our entire life very hard. In my case, I've done the 2 jobs at a time, getting 6 to 7 hours of sleep, when the baby wasn't crying. We've done all this. And now many of us are well into our late 40s, 50s, ready to retire. Some of us have chosen to move to the Philippines and make a whole new chapter in our lives, post-divorce, post-being widowed. I completely understand and I support the fact that we all want to kind of let our hair down in some way or another. Now, for me, that means pretty much every day I wear cargo shorts. I didn't choose to grow my hair long or get a mohawk or a bunch of tattoos or piercings, but to me now every day is casual day. But I still, when I go out in public, I want to be wearing, a clean shirt and look presentable. Now, what has happened is that 20 years ago, a Filipina would feel enamored at the attention of any expat that landed on the shores. And because there was a whole lot less game playing back then, prior to the availability of the internet on the average smartphone, which became affordable for the average Filipina, back then, your appearance really didn't matter much. And even today, in 2023, you can still walk off the plane, go downtown. Now maybe you don't iron your shirt. You grab whatever's closest to the bed. You don't feel like shaving. You maybe don't even feel like taking a shower that day. And even right now, you can get away with that, and still there is a high enough, if you want to call it, we'll refer to the SMV, the sexual market value. There's enough value in a foreigner because we're still a very rare commodity in the Philippines. And so when you go to talk to most Filipinas, presuming they're single, they will take an interest in you. They will be flattered, and they will, for the most part, want to go out with you. I would say that in 7 years of very steady dating before I met my wife, I can only think of maybe 2, let's just say 3 max Filipinas I've ever asked for their number or asked to go out with that said no. One I remember she was married. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm too late. But right now, you can still get away with being a little bit sloppy. However, even today, and I've talked about this in the comment section before, I've had guys say, oh, well, I've been told and I believe that the rich Filipinas, they won't even take a second look at a foreigner. And the girls who are in their late 20s, who come from rich families, there's no way that they're going to date a foreigner. Well, I'll just bust that myth right now. It's not true. In fact, my very first Filipina from the Philippines girlfriend, and I've talked about this before, was and is still a very wealthy woman. She was the one who saved up money and started flipping houses one at a time for 14 years, to the point that she now owns about 10 properties in Cebu and Mabolo, as well as she used to own a home, a 5-bedroom home in Southern California. And to give you an idea of just, 3 of the homes that she owned were in the Beverly Hills section, that's what they call it, of Cebu Hills. She owned 3 of them on one street, and we're talking 5-bedroom homes. But to really give you an idea of how wealthy she is, raise your hand if you've ever had a girlfriend, a Filipina girlfriend, who gave you a Mercedes. She gave me a Mercedes when we were dating in California. Eventually, we sold it, and she said, well, just give me $1,000 and keep the rest of the money. So this idea that you cannot date a wealthy Filipina or a Filipina from a well-to-do family, it's just false. And I've dated other Filipinas who owned their own businesses, and it really comes down to this. Back to the whole issue of letting your hair down. How you present yourself in the Philippines is completely up to you. Everybody has the right to dress and express themselves as they please. However, similar to tattoos, there are consequences to how people will respond to you based on your appearance. So if you're a small business owner and you've got 3 applicants and you need a cashier for your business, but one of these applicants has wild tattoos all over their face, we both know that is not the person that you want to hire as your cashier to interface with your customers. There are consequences to the choices we make. So getting back to expats, if it's in your mind to date a wealthier Filipina or a Filipina who has a good career or has her own motorcycle rental business, she's got her own Suburban. If this is the kind of woman that you want to date, you need to present yourself well, because the dynamics of approaching, say for instance, a Filipina from the province is that she will feel enamored to be involved with you because there's such a great difference in finances. But when you're approaching a Filipina who already has all the money she needs, she's not looking at you as a step up financially at all. In essence, your financial superpower has been stripped away. She already has her own money. She can travel on her own. She doesn't need you to go to a fancy resort. So this means she's going to be a bit choosier about the man that she is going to get involved with. So you might be thinking, well, what's her criteria? Well, guess what? It's not a whole lot different from the criteria that the girl from the province has. The only difference is the wealthier woman is going to be a bit more stringent about it. And what do they want? I've asked this question of so many Filipinas that I've dated since 2012, and I've consistently gotten pretty much the same answer. What a Filipina wants is a man who, number one, is financially stable. He doesn't have to be rich. Maybe we all know we're rich by most Filipino standards, but she's not looking for a man that owns 3 mansions and a Bentley. She wants a man that is financially stable. He can pay the rent. He can put food on the table. If you get sick, he can pay the hospital. She wants a man that is simply financially stable, able to provide. The second thing is equally important, which is he is not a cheater. And really, that is only a subsection of her real requirement. She doesn't want a man who has vices. Filipinas put up with a lot because, again, of the disparity in financial situation. And that's how it is even today. They will put up with a lot of vices, smoking, excessive drinking. But the one thing they will not put up with is cheating. Aside from the loss of face in the community, she does not feel secure in her future when her man is being intimate with another woman, and at any moment, he might toss her out and bring in the new girl. So a Filipina does not feel secure financially or in any other way if her man is cheating. So getting back to the Filipina who is a bit wealthier, she has those same criteria, but in addition to that, she walks in certain social circles. So in addition to this, she wants a man that can present himself well, a man who is not going to embarrass her, which comes back to what I call the scruffy expat. A woman of this caliber is not going to choose even an expat when he looks like he's dressed as if he just rolled out of bed, wearing whatever laundry was on the floor, didn't take the time to shave. In other words, just all of the drops in personal hygiene and appearance. That's not the kind of man who stands a chance with a higher caliber Filipina woman. She wants a man that doesn't necessarily need to be walking around in a tuxedo all day, like Cary Grant or something, but a man that is, again, presentable to family, presentable when she runs into business associates in town at a restaurant or whatever. She wants a man that she can be proud of. And it's not just how you look. She will be equally embarrassed if it's 2 PM and he's already half drunk. If he has alcoholic or smoking vices, you can pretty much bet that guy just kind of dropped off the list. In addition, being loud, like literally the loudest voice in the room, they don't like that either. They want a man that knows how to behave himself in polite society. Not a person who is going to blow up at the waitress and throw a tantrum just because he didn't get enough shrimp on his salad. So my message to you here today is, as time moves forward and even the average Filipina begins to realize that her value is already very high among foreigners, I believe Filipinas going into the future years here are going to start behaving more like the wealthier Filipinas. They will begin to understand that they are a hot commodity and they can be a little bit more picky about the type of expat that they're willing to say yes to. Now, the scruffy alcoholic, he can always go to Angeles, open up his wallet, and some low-hanging fruit is going to jump on his lap. That will probably never change. But those are not high-quality women. That is not wife material. That's not even girlfriend material. So if you're serious about a high-caliber woman, a high-caliber Filipina, as the years begin to roll by from this point forward, expect that it's not enough that you stepped off a plane a couple days ago wearing your dirty laundry. That's more and more not going to cut it. You're going to have some personality, not just peso-nality, as some people have said. You're going to have some character. You're going to have to be able to know that if you get involved with a good woman, you're not going to cheat on her, because that is of high importance to her. Now, a Filipina will put up with maybe a little bit of smoking, maybe a little bit of social drinking once a month, twice a month, a little bit. But I'm telling you, having spoken to so many, when they see that a man can't control himself either in his lust for other women or in his necessity to have alcohol, she sees him as a weak man who is probably not reliable. But if you can carry yourself well, if you can be courteous in polite society, if you can manage your temper, as in no outbursts, then really, Southeast Asia, Philippines, it becomes your oyster. It all opens up for you.